What's going on, everybody? Thanks for tuning back in to another episode of Florida Prison Talk. I'm your host, Easy One, and as promised, I got my big brother on here that's been through the Indian River JIT camp where me, my mother, my auntie went to visit back in 96 when I was 12 years old. This is my older brother right here. He's going to speak on his time at the JIT camp for part one. Part two, we're going to get into the adult compound, but for part one, we focus specifically on the JIT camp. So make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, man. It's Easy One with Florida Prison Talk. They got my big brother Marcus right here. He gonna go over his story. Introduce yourself, bro.
Good morning, man. My name is Marcus Hunt, man. I'm Zeke older brother.
All right.
How y'all doing this morning?
Good, that's what's up. Listen, we're gonna start this off. What crime led you to the Florida Department of Corrections? And how old were you?
Well, back in 96, I had caught a sale of cocaine charge back there and sent me to prison for a year and a day.
Okay, bro, real quick. Can you get the camera steady? Like, is it something you're leaning on?
Yeah, I'm just holding it right here.
If you get it steady, it won't be blurry. We got to get it steady.
Okay, hold up.
All right.
What about now?
Yeah. That's pretty steady. Yeah. All right. All right, I'm going to start it over again, okay? What's going on, everybody? Thanks for tuning back in to another episode of Florida Prison Talk. I'm your host, Easy Way, and got my big bro, Marcus, with me here. Went to the Indian River JIT camp. Me, my mother, my auntie went to see him back in 96. I was 12 years old. It was up in Vero Beach. We're going to get right into this, man. Go ahead and introduce yourself, big bro.
Good morning. My name is Marcus Hunt, man. I'm Zeke, older brother. How y'all doing this morning?
All right. And we're going to get right into this, big bro. What crime led you to the Florida Department of Corrections?
Well, back in 96, I had caught a sale of cocaine charge that I caught a year and a day behind it, DOC.
Okay. How old were you?
Shit, I was like 16 back then.
Okay. So you was definitely a JIT. So when you was 16, was you pre-trial confinement? Was you locked up in the county awaiting sentencing?
Yes, correct. I was locked up in the county jail on the 12th floor. They had a 12th floor in the county jail for YOs, you know.
And how was it being on the 12th floor? What kind of things happened up there with these JIT? I know the jitterbug adolescents so young and fired up. What you was going through up there?
Well, man, we were wild. We ain't have no outlook on life right then. We out there wild and fighting, you know, causing riots. We thought it was like getting into trouble back then, you know.
Right. Okay. And so you were 16. When you was in the county jail, you knew you was going to JIT camp?
Yeah, most definitely.
So people was talking about it, right? To you was hearing about it from other inmates?
Well, we was hearing about it, but, you know, nobody ever had any hands-on experience that was up there because nobody had been there before. But it was just all about everybody. The stories that about the place was like hearsay, you know?
Okay, I got you. And so you catch your case, you catch your year and a day.
Yeah.
You the JIT camp. Was you nervous? Was you scared of the unforeseen? I already know you get it. It's my big brother. He get it in. Monster gonna knock you out, all of that stuff. Yeah. They know in the hood and everything, but I still gotta ask you, bro. Was you scared of the unforeseen?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Anybody gonna be afraid of something, you know, that they never had experience and stuff like that. But you know, it was a lifestyle that I had chose at the time, so you know how that was. Yeah.
That's what's up.
Ready for whatever, so.
That's what's up. Okay, so what was your first institution you hit? You hit the reception center?
Yeah, I hit South Florida Reception Center. I was on the YO side over there and stuff like that. Everybody that was housed over there was like, you had to be 25 and under to be over there back then. That was in South Florida Reception Center in Miami, you know?
Okay, and how was it when you first got to the dorm that day? How was your first day there? Did you have to bang that first day? How long it took?
No, not really. You know, we just, just watching yourself, watching what's going on around you. Of course, you're going to already have people down there that you know and stuff like that. So, you know, they'll pull your coat to what's going on and stuff like that. Basically, you know, just slept in the first day. You know, you're tired from being up early that morning, leaving the county, going there and stuff like that. But the next full day, you know, we just out there on the weight pile. You know, of course, at that age, you trying to go on and get your strength on, working out and stuff like that, get yourself ready for what's in front of you, you know?
That's right. That's right. And how long was you at the reception center before you went to your first compound?
Man, I think I stayed at back then they was keeping us at the reception center for a little minute. So I think I was there for about almost 2 months back then.
Okay. So you at the reception center. You was there 2 months. You're going to your first institution. What was your first institution you went to?
First institute, I came from South Florida Reception Center. It's just like a little diagnostic, you know. But then I went to Indian River. I did all of my time there, but I had like probably about 4 to 5 months in the county already. So off of a year and a day sentence, you do like back then 85% had. Matter of fact, 85% had just kicked in. So you know you were doing like 10 months. So, but I went to Indian River from there, you know.
Indian River is where me, Mom, and Auntie Evelyn came to visit you at. I remember that really good. Man, I remember about the compound. Like, I don't know if I'm remembering right, but when we was in the visiting room, you can kind of see the other inmates, like walking back and forth. I remember that. And I remember the most, man, I seen all black inmates. Like, was there any white kids that was locked up when you was there?
Oh, yeah, most definitely. But you know how that is. Like always, there were very few and stuff like that. You know how the system designed to keep us down. So, I mean, that's what it was. It was more blacks. It's always going to be more blacks than white inmates in any correctional facility you go to. So,
okay. And when you got to Indian River, did you see anybody you knew there from the town?
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Okay. So you linked up with them. And when you got to Indian River, was a lot of stuff going on there? People say that was the worst JIT camp like Brevard. What happened when you got to Indian River? Tell us about that first day. And
I'm gonna tell you, the first day I got there, you know, they used to assign you locks and stuff like that. I think right off the rip, we had put my stuff in. We ain't had me and my roommate. We ain't have no lock. Both of us from Palm Beach, and somebody went in the room and stole my little dog Murray hair grease and stuff like that. So we had gone put on right quick and get that back. But it was crazy, you know. Most of you have to watch out for stealing because you know guys that been out of the institution for so long, they be preying on guys coming in and stuff like that because you know they don't know the ropes, and you know that's what had took place.
Okay, was did you see a lot of violence when you was there? Like, was stuff happening every single day?
No, not every single day, but it I would say every other day. You know, mostly it was mainly fighting and stuff like that. It wasn't really no, you know, we were jitty, but it wasn't mostly mainly no stabbing back then. I mean, people had little bangers and stuff like that, but we were mostly fighting it out. We had in the dorm, we had a little understanding room. We could pop off in and get it on. There wasn't nothing in there but you and the next inmate, you know, in walls. So we pretty much got it on right there, got that off your chest. Y'all, you know, y'all apologized to one another and went on about your day. That's how it was.
Okay, and how about gangs back then? I know the prison system transitioned so much. Was there gangs back then? It wasn't.
Nah. It wasn't gangs back then. It was mostly like cliques. It was like down south. When you go to prison, all South Florida hook up with each other. Palm Beach, Broward, and Dade, you know. So it was Palm Beach, Broward, and Dade against dudes out of Tampa, St. Pete, you know, places like that right there, you know.
Okay, got you. And how about the corruption, man? There's a lot of. Did you see a lot of inmates get their ass beat by the guards? Was the guards putting their hands on y'all?
Well, I didn't see a lot of that. They might slap you up. You know what I'm saying? Back then, that was at a wild camp because, you know, they really couldn't do that to you know, to youthful offenders. But I never really seen that. If it did happen, they take you into confinement. What's up? They take you to confinement first, and then you might slap somebody or something like that. You know.
Okay. And did you spend any time in confinement when you was at Indian River?
Yeah, I did a little time in there, 30 days fighting.
Okay. And how many during your time at Indian River, a little short stint because you had the county time and the reception time, how many fights would you say you got into personally, one-on-ones? How many?
I think I got into like 3 one-on-ones, and then we had a big riot. I remember in Palm Beach, we had a riot with guys out of Tampa and stuff like that. Had a nice riot.
And what was that? Elaborate on that. What was that riot about? And what went down during that riot? What was?
It happened out there on the basketball court. You know, some dudes from Palm Beach was playing some more dudes out of Tampa. And you know, it always just was tension like that anyway, you know what I'm saying? But one of my little partners out of Delray got into it with a dude from Tampa, and it popped off. You know, we escalated from the basketball court. They went and got their little clique. Like then they used to have phones on the compound. Everybody had their little sections they stand off in, and you know, it went down. And this here happened like I was getting ready to go, you know, so I was just sitting back watching everything and stuff like that. And then when it popped out, you know, I got to be a part of it. You know how that is.
Yep. Okay.
So we had got it on with them dudes like that right there, you know. Luckily, I ain't get caught in the riot. You know what I'm saying? I dashed up out of there and went back to the dorm, you know, while the police was rounding up guys and stuff like that. But that's mainly what it was, you know, just fight thing. You know, that's what jits be doing, you know?
Yep. And you said that no matter what institution you go to, the black inmates are always going to outnumber the white inmates, which is a fact. So with that being said, was the black inmates putting down on the white inmates? Was they getting extorted? Was that going down?
Oh yeah, most definitely. That's always, that ain't gonna never change. I mean, yeah, most definitely you prey on the white man. You always trying to, you know, guys always trying to get what they got because, you know, off the rip, from leaving society, you know, we always feel like the whites got more than us anyway. So, you know, you know what type of predicament that puts you in, you know. Right. We want what they got.
And that's what I've done a number of these interviews, man, and that's what I keep on hearing, like in the Department of Corrections, the white boys out, I keep hearing they don't stand up for themselves, they don't stick together like that, you know. And was there any white boys that was actually banging, like that was actually?
Oh yeah, all white boys ain't soft now, man. It's some white boys that get it on, you know what I'm saying? And they gain respect like that. I'll tell you that right now. All these white boys ain't soft, you know, but you know, people went into that with the misinterpretation like they were, but you know, them boys had to prove themselves too. I can't take nothing away from them, but majority of the time, you know how that is. Black brothers ain't really too tough and let they brothers get whooped by no white boy. You know how that is.
Right. And with all the violence and stuff going on at these JIT camps, man, and shit happening every day, locks and socks, one-on-ones, fight. Was you able to pick up a trade while you was in there, or was too much stuff going on?
Well, it was at the JIT camp back then. It wasn't really like no trades going on, man. The system set up to fail, you know. It was just mostly like GED stuff like that. It wasn't basically no trades at the wild camp that I was at back then. Okay. And then at the same time, you know, I wasn't there that long to they wouldn't even enroll me in it because I was short time, you know.
Okay, got you. I got you. Okay, yeah. So listen, when you was at Indian River, your sentence is narrowing down.
Right.
You get ready to come home. What is your mindset? Is your mindset, okay, when I get home, I'm going to stay out of trouble? Or is your mindset, when I get home, I'm hitting the streets, I'm doing what I got to do to get this money? Was your mindset set to go straight when you was getting ready to come home from Indian River, or was you still in that thugged out stuff?
Well, actually, I had 1 foot in, 1 foot out, man, because I don't think that I know that I didn't do enough time there, you know what I'm saying? And I went like, so I felt like I had an experience prison life. So I was like, oh, that wasn't shit. But I hadn't really even much spent enough time to see no whole lot of stuff at that time. You know what I'm saying? So my mind necessarily wasn't based on getting together, you know?
Got you.
I was at that age, you know what I'm saying? I was gun-ho. I had a reputation to portray, you know?
That's right.
Yeah.
And how important, man, is support? How important is letters and visits and stuff? Does that mean something to you when you're in there? Does that make it easier?
Yeah, yes, it did. That helped out a lot. You know, it took a little pressure, a little stress off and stuff like that. I mean, back then matter of fact, I had just had my oldest daughter, you know, back then and stuff like that. So, you know, to see my baby mama, my family, y'all and stuff like that, that helped out a lot, you know?
Right. Okay, I'm gonna go into the adult, your second bid a little bit, just to do a comparison. How long was it? Okay, you home from JIT camp. You home now. You home free. You chilling. So you hit the streets again.
Yeah.
Okay, you hit the streets again. How long was it before you caught your second bid in the Florida Department of Corrections?
Hell, I caught another bid around 2001, somewhere around there. I caught like 30 months.
Okay, so when you caught this 30 months for this bid, did you go to the adult compound this time?
Yeah. Once you go to a wild camp and you get caught up in the system again, you can never go back to a wild camp. You know, you consider it as an adult.
Okay. And what was one of the biggest differences you noticed between the JIT camps and the adult compound?
Well, the biggest difference was people was more laid back and stuff like that right there at the adult camp. You know, it wasn't wild like the Jitty Boy camp was. You know, people were more mature there because I was around, you know, older guys and stuff like that.
Okay, I got you. And real quick, little side notes. Let me talk to the viewers real quick. Let me tell you guys what kept me out of trouble the most. Let me tell you guys what kept me out of trouble for the most part. I got a little stuff, but not Department of Correction stuff. And besides, I did the 19 months in the military thing, but that's nothing. Let me tell you guys or the viewers what kept me out of trouble the most. And this is why it's important, man, to be in your kid's life. What kept me out of trouble the most is that I always had somebody at home that will beat my ass if I did something. And a lot of people some people, they still do what they do, but I've always had somebody that can beat my ass when I get home. Like I always had friends, because I'm from New York originally, and I grew up in the project. So I had a lot of friends, man, that all of our mothers was on crack. My mother was on crack for like 30, 35 years. She's clean now. She was the best mother ever. Let me tell you the difference with my mother, man, and other mothers, because I'm going to tell you what crack does. Crack takes the heart from people, man. You know, it takes your heart away. Like, people that you might have been able to knock out before, when you get on crack, they might think they can knock you out now. Crack takes away your heart, man. And my mother, I respect her the most because no matter how much crack she was on, it never took her heart away because she would still beat our ass. I know some parents that was beating their kids' ass, that was disciplining them. And when the crack came, the kids started talking to the parents any kind of way. And they was getting away with it because the mother's heart was gone. She didn't have that same fire she had to whoop ass that she had before. But my mother, it never came to that. I don't give a damn if she smoked a half a key of crack. If I did wrong, she was still whooping my ass. So that kept me out of trouble, that I always had somebody at home that will beat my ass. And I say that to say this. I got 2 kids now, and I'm on my kid's trail. When my kid is playing outside, I'm spying on him. I'm hiding behind trucks. I'm trying to see how he act when I'm not around. I say that to say this to the viewers. It's really important to be in your kid's life, because when I watch my son out there playing, when I go check on him outside, I see what a lot of the other kids are doing. Like when other kids are riding in the street, my son is the only one on the sidewalk. When the other kids are trying to get my son to do this, he's like, I can't do that. My daddy will do this. My daddy do that. All of that makes a difference on if it's going to be repercussion for what you do when you get home. That's just a little side note I want to say. All right, big bro. So boom, you catch the case. You in the adult compound. What was the first adult compound you hit at the reception center?
I went to New River East in Rayford, Florida, up top, right across from FSP.
And how was that institution as we close? I'm gonna get into it briefly. We're gonna say the rest for part 2. How was that institution when you got there? You older now, you more mature, so you're not fighting nothing like that, none of that's going on?
Yeah. Well, mainly what we was doing, man, you know, there was a lot of marijuana circulating on the compound there. You know, we was smoking hot till we just can't, because there's nothing to do. So we was smoking hot, breaking in white boy locker, you know, putting soda can on them and stuff like that. And, you know, as back then we were just really straight wild and not even much thinking about the repercussions that we could face behind that, because, you know, mind you not, it was guys that had life sentences and stuff like that. White boys too, you know, that really ain't had nothing to lose. And, you know, we was basically just putting our life on the line by some zoom zooms and wham, man. Just so we can go buy some reefer to smoke. You know what I'm saying?
Got you. And I remember the JIT compound. You said it wasn't. Y'all was just mostly fighting and stuff. Wasn't no stabbing. You got to compound. Was it stabbing going on there? Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was stabbing going on there. And at the camp up there, you know, it was like hard to get away from. You could see guys going sight up there and stuff, doing little stuff, running around the compound butt naked so they can get shipped and stuff like that. You know, just doing little crazy stuff, man, acting out. Yo, it was pretty different. It was real different. And plus, I was in the HO4. I was in the HO4 door, you know, so I was housed with lifers and stuff like that, you know, 2-man cells and stuff like that, the T building. Guys that done been in prison, they know what I'm talking about.
Keep hearing about the T building. Okay. And what was one of the worst things you've seen at that compound, man? If you can remember, what was one of the worst incidents you've seen there before we close up at that compound?
Well, I seen dude get stabbed up there, man. You know, real bad and stuff like that. You know, they had the helicopter had to come get him.
Okay, got it airlifted. Okay. And with that, man, you said when we talked about the JIT camp, and I asked you about gangs, you said there was no gangs. Here you are serving another sentence 5 or 6 years later. Was there gangs then?
I can remember dudes, you know, they was calling themselves folk back then. I guess that's what GDs is, but I never really paid any attention to all that stuff because I've never been involved in no gang or nothing like that. But that was the first time I ever heard about folks. I guess the GDs and stuff like that. So yeah, I guess gangs was coming about then, you know, in the Florida system.
Okay. And when we speaking on the JIT camp, I asked you about the trades and stuff. You said there was no trades there. How about when you got to the adult compound? What trades do they have there? Or was you participating in it?
None, man. No, they ain't really had that many there, man. They had at New River East, they had got most of the guys there, they was getting paid. They was working for Pride down the road at Union and stuff like that. It wasn't, man, I'm telling you, it wasn't nothing. The system always just been set up for failure, man. Got
you. And okay, with this second bid now, I asked you this on the first, but with this second bid, you say you did 30 months. As your bid was closing in on this second bid, how was your mindset then? Are you like, okay, boom, this is the second time, I'm gonna go home and do right? Or was your mindset still, I'm gonna go back to the streets and do what I gotta do? How was your mindset closing in on the second bid before you went home?
Well, my mind back then, man, I had mixed feelings because I was dealing with a chick. Once again, I had just had another little girl, and she had left everything that we had accomplished over in Clearwater where we were staying. Then, mind you, that she was on the run on my way out the door then. So I had mixed feelings, man. I really didn't know what to do. I didn't really have no sense of direction, anything, you know. So, you know, back to the street.
I got you. And once you we're not gonna go on to the third bid. We're gonna do the third and fourth bid on the part two. But once you got back to the streets, how many years before you caught your third bid?
I got out 2003, about 3 years later.
Okay, about 3 years later.
I caught a lot. Yeah.
Okay. And out of all of those bids, was time getting easier as you was doing it? Like, was it becoming like, was the fear of prison gone? Like when you in the streets, and once you've been to prison and you in the streets, it's gone, right?
Yeah. Yeah, okay. the fear of prison was gone. You know, I had that attitude like, fuck it is what it is. You know, like JT Money say, I've been here before, so it really ain't shit.
Got you. And out of all of those bids you did 4 bids in Florida, right? You did 4 bids in Florida. Which bid was the hardest on you mentally? Which one you was like, damn, man, I'm tired of this shit getting on my nerve?
Shit, I caught them. My last bid I caught 5 years in 2011. I got out in 2015. That was really rough. You know, I lost my dad in the process of that right there. And, you know, it was rough. You know, I used to jump from camp to camp and stuff like that, doing little stuff, going sight, getting away from there. You know, I caught CM time. You know, I stayed in confinement. Every bid I ever done, I've done most of my time behind the door anyway. So it was rough, man. Yeah, okay. and prison was changing. You know what I'm saying? It went from the first time it was more easier, and each time I went, it got harder and harder because the guards, they kept taking away this. Every time you go, something being took away or some type of rules being changed, you know, to make it difficult on the individual that's doing the time, you know?
Those are facts, man, because everything you said is, I hear the same, people say they got harder and harder and harder. That's crazy, man. You said you did a lot of time in CM. What would you get sent to CM to for the most? What was your fighting, talking to the guards wrong? Like, what was your biggest?
I had a guard. I was at Hardy when I caught CM time. I had just left Florida City. I went to Hardy. I got flipped with a cell phone. Started dude rushed in my room. I had my cell phone. I wrestled him down, and you know, I flushed my phone down the toilet on him and stuff like that. I got CM for that. I went to Swanee main unit.
Okay, so real quick, so you was able to, so while y'all tussling, you was able to flush the phone and all that in the process.
Yeah, I was holding him with my I had him. I was holding him with my left hand against the wall, and I was flushing the phone down with my right hand and stuff like that. Once it flushed, just lay down and let him cuff me up, But they never got the phone and them, but they still seeing me there.
Okay, they sent you to Sewanee. Okay, so so real quick, 2 more questions with the CM and stuff, man.
Yeah.
How was that on your brain mentally? Was the box having an effect on you? Was you going crazy?
Well, shit. It was to think about it. I was like that because I know I was finna have to be back there for like 18 months. You see what I'm saying? So I never had been behind the door that long. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it was going into it. It was crazy to think about that, but I got through it because once you get somewhere, you learn to adapt to your surroundings. At least I do. I'm quite sure anybody else do too. And then Swanee was different because they were. You had to behave up there because them white boys up there, they wasn't playing with you. They whooping you and spraying you. Back there, it don't matter what you do. They get your mind right. So it was pretty chill there. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Okay. Yeah. So you in the box. So last question. Let me ask you this. How about after that last, but you did the 5 years from 2011 until 2016. Right. When you got home, was it hard for you to adjust back to society? Was you having problems adjusting back? How was it? Or did you get right back? It was easy. It was nothing.
No, when I got back, I went to, my mom and my auntie came and picked me. I went to Palm Beach and, I was looking around and shit, the same guys that were doing the same thing 5 years ago and I left, still in position. So, I said, fuck it, I'm finna go back to Georgia, man. And I stayed down there for like a week and I come right back up here where I'm at right now in Georgia, man. I ain't been back since, Yep. I ain't been back in Florida to stay. I just go to visit. I done gave it up down there. I love where I'm from and stuff like that, but it's not a good environment for me to reside in right now, because all I know is the street pretty much,
Got you. And real quick, man, I like to leave on a positive note. You got these kids out there and trying to, they breaking in cars, they committing crime, they listen to all of this crazy trap music. If there's a kid right now watching, you get what I'm saying? Yeah. If there's a kid right now, what would you tell that kid about the prison system and staying free? Tell them about all the years you missed out in the street, man. What would you tell that kid that's listening right now?
Man, what I tell a kid right now that's listening and making a bad decision, man, listen, the streets is not all this cut out to be. If I could turn back the hands of time, man, I'll change everything, man. You need to be young as long as you can because while you got the world by the tail, at a young age, because you'll find yourself at my age later on in life wishing you would have did this and done that. It's all the trick of the devil. It's like, I understand how they may feel. We cut from the same cloth, walk same path, just different shoes, but they don't have to go through that. My biggest regret in life out of all the trouble and the mistake, I just regret I didn't listen to my family, people that love me, because when I was young, I thought I knew everything and they were old fashioned, but that's the wrong, I had the wrong mindset, man. So all I can tell them, man, just get your life together, man, and focus on what's going on out here in the world, man, because that street life ain't nothing. That should have swallowed you whole, man. Real.
Hey, I appreciate you, big bro, man. Hey, listen, this Easy Win with Florida Prison Talk. Listen, a smart man learns from his own experience, but a wise man learns from somebody else's experience. And you guys can avoid learning from your own experience if you learn from some of the viewers that I'm bringing on. You know what I'm saying? This is my older bro, so I seen him come in, out. I seen him when he was working at the gas station at Mobile. I seen when he came home. I seen the letters he was sending home to my mother. I seen all of that stuff, man. And I always knew, like, man, that's somewhere you might want to stay away from because he was fighting. My mother was telling me he just got another fight, Zeke. He just got another fight. I'm hearing all of this stuff. I'm like, bro, going through it. What's going on, bro? And he's on the offense, bro. Bro, the one putting it down. You know what I'm saying? And the box time. So a lot of these questions I knew the answers to. I'm just saying it for the viewers. I knew about the box time. My mother used to always tell me about it. So, but listen, hey, I appreciate y'all tuning in to another episode of Florida Prison Talk. That's my big bro. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Easy Win, signing out.